everyone, welcome back to Brighter Minds Academy's YouTube channel. And today we're learning about one of the most important and exciting parts of English grammar, verbs. Verbs are the action words of language. They are the words that make our sentences move and come alive. Without verbs, nothing would ever happen. No one would run, laugh, talk, or even do anything. Now, without wasting any further time, let's learn what verbs are.
So what exactly is a verb? A verb is a word that shows an action, a state of being, or something happening. Verbs tells us what the subject of a sentence does or is. For example, in I eat breakfast, the word eat is the verb because it shows what I do. In she is happy, the word happy is the verb because it tells us the state she is in. Not what she does, but what she is. Every complete sentence in English needs a verb. You can think of a verb as the heart of the sentence. It keeps everything alive and connected. Now let's go deeper and explore the different types of verbs step by step with clear examples so you never get confused again. The first and the most common type is the action verb. These are the words that show what someone or something does. There are two kinds of action verbs, physical action and mental actions. Physical action verbs are easy to spot because you can see them happening. Examples include run, jump, play, sing, write, cook, dance, and even swim. For instance, the cat jumps on the table. The action you see is jumping. Another example is she dances gracefully. Here, dance is the verb showing the action. Mental action verbs describe things that happens in your mind. You can't see them, but they're still actions. Words like think, believe, remember, understand, imagine, or decide are mental action verbs. For example, I believe in kindness. The action is believed, which happens in the mind. Or she remembers her childhood. The verb remembers shows mental action. So whether the action is physical or mental, if something is being done, it's an action verb. Now, not all verbs show action. Some verbs don't describe what's being done. They describe what something is. These are called linking verbs. Linking verbs connect the subject to more information about it. They act as a bridge between the subject and its description or identity. For example, in she is a teacher, the verb links her to the teacher. It doesn't show action, but it connects two ideas together. Common linking verbs include am, is, are, was, were, be, been, being, become, seem, appear, look, feel, taste, smell, and sound. For example, the soup smells delicious. The verb smells doesn't show the soup doing anything. It just connects the soup to the description delicious. Another one, he looks tired. The word looks connect him to tired. A quick trick to check if a verb is a linking verb is to replace it with is or are. If the sentence still makes sense, then it's probably a linking verb. For instance, the cake tastes sweet. Now, this can become the cake is sweet, which still makes sense. So taste is a linking verb here. Next are helping verbs, also known as auxiliary verbs. These verbs don't show action by themselves. Instead, they help the main verb by showing time, possibility, or the way something is happening. You can think of helping word as the sidekick that supports the main hero or the main verb. Some common helping verbs are as follows. Now, let's take an example. She is reading. Here, it is the helping verb, and reading is the main verb. They have finished their homework. In this sentence, have is the helping verb, and finish is the main verb. We will go tomorrow. Here, will helps the verb go to show a future action. Helping verbs usually come before the main verb and make sentences more specific and clear. Now let's look at a special part of action verbs, transitive and intransitive verbs. A transitive verb is a verb that needs an object, someone or something that receives the action. You can usually find the object by asking what or whom after the verb. Let's take an example of a sentence. She reads a book. Now, she is the subject we're talking about, and read has a direct object, a book. Another example, he kicked the ball. He kicked what? The ball. On the other hand, an intransitive verb does not need an object. The action ends up with the verb itself. For example, he sleeps. There's no object. The action is complete on its own. The baby cried. The action cried does not go to an object. Some verbs can be both transitive and intransitive, depending on how you use them. Let's take an example. She runs every morning. Now this is an intransitive sentence because there's no object. But she runs a company is a transitive one because the company is the object of the action. Another important way to classify verbs is by how they change when we talk about the past. There are regular and irregular verbs. Now, regular verbs are easy. They follow a simple pattern. To make them past tense, we just add ed to the end. For example, walk will be walked, play will be played, jump will be jumped, and clean will be cleaned. So if you know the base form, you can easily make it past tense by adding ed. But irregular verbs breaks the rule. They change completely, and you just have to memorize them. For example, go becomes went, eat becomes ate, buy becomes bought, see becomes saw, run becomes ran, and have becomes had. There's no fixed rule for irregular verbs, but with practice and reading, you'll start remembering them easily. They're very common in English, so learning them helps a lot. Finally, let's talk about modal verbs. Now, modal verbs are special helping verbs that show things like ability, permission, necessity, and possibility. Some of the most common modal verbs are can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, and would. For example, I can swim shows ability. You must study hard shows necessity or obligation. We might visit tomorrow shows a possibility. And may I come in asks for permission. And fun fact about modal verbs is that they never change form. You don't add s, ed, or anything to them. For example, we say he can swim, not he can swim. They stay the same no matter who the subject is. So to sum it all up, verbs are the powerful words that make sentences work. They show what someone does, feels, thinks, or is. We have action verbs that tell what's happening, linking verbs that connect ideas, and helping verbs that support other verbs. Some verbs are transitive when they have an object and intransitive when they don't. Verbs can be regular and follow the ed rule, or irregular and change forms in their own unique ways. And finally, we have modal verbs which help us express ability, permission, and possibility. Verbs truly give movements and meaning to our words. Without them, sentences would have no life at all.
If you enjoyed learning with us today, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And if you'd like extra help in English, math, or any subject, please contact us on our email address for more information. Thank you very much for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay healthy and eat healthy.